Hello everybody, how's it going? We finally got a new Smash character at this year's E3, and it is Kazuya from Tekken, now in Super Smash Bros. So there's a lot to talk about revolving Kazuya's inclusion in Smash. I'll admit, he was not one of the characters on my radar. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know he existed when I saw his trailer. Believe it or not, that's the second time this happened in the DLC alone, with the first time being Terry. And of course, going into it, I knew about Tekken and more specifically Heihachi. But somehow, Kazuya dodged my online presence for basically my entire life. I'm not sure how that happened, but here we are, Kazuya is now in Smash. I would like to say that I think it's quite remarkable that really no one was talking about Kazuya getting into Smash before it actually happened. I'll admit, I wasn't one of those people talking about Kazuya. I've made plenty of prediction videos, and he wasn't on them. But I will pat myself on the back here. I did get one thing right about Kazuya's inclusion in my past prediction videos, that being the Bandai Namco inclusion. I have been saying for over a year that Bandai Namco was gonna get a second character. If you don't know already, Bandai Namco helps develop Smash Ultimate, and they only had Pac-Man up to this point. It just made a whole lot of sense for Bandai Namco to get a second character. I think more recently I decided to ignore that reasoning that I came up with in favor of the characters that I wanted to see, but here we are, it makes a lot of sense, there had to be another Namco character. Now that we're here and we have Kazuya, I want to talk about him and his inclusion specifically. Coming from someone like me who didn't even know who this character was 2 weeks ago, I think I have a pretty unique perspective on this challenger in particular. So I want to talk about why Kazuya was chosen for the Bandai Namco character. If you've been following me for a while, you would know that I was really expecting to see Lloyd Irving come into the past at some point. In my ranking the most likely characters video, he was at the 3rd spot based on the fact that he was a Bandai Namco character. And I think a lot of us were expecting a Namco character in general, so I'm really surprised that Kazuya never came up in the conversation. And I think there are two factors at play here. For one, we already had the Heihachi Mii costume return in the DLC wave. This perplexing addition really subverted all of our expectations, and I guess that was intentional. Perhaps they noticed that we all suspected Namco would get a new character, so in the beginning of the pass with Min Min, they decided to throw us off with a Mii costume of one of the main characters of a series that would later be represented in the same pass. Whether or not this was actually intentional is still up in the air, but I think we can all agree this really threw us off the track of expecting any kind of Tekken content coming to Smash Ultimate. I guess they chose to go with Tekken rather than Tales of because Tekken is more of a household name that's popular worldwide. I don't mean to downplay the popularity of the Tales of series, but I feel like if you asked a lot of casual gamers who Lloyd Irving was, not a lot of them would be able to tell you. On the other hand, if you asked a lot of casual gamers who Kazuya was before Smash, I still think you would get some mixed results, but regardless of Kazuya himself, his series, Tekken, is something that I think a lot of casual gaming fans are familiar with and are able to get hyped about. So overall, this inclusion just makes a lot of sense. There had to be a Namco character, and out of all the series to represent from Namco, Tekken seemed like the best bet. Unfortunately, we probably are going to see that Lloyd Mii costume on June 28th with Kazuya's presentation. We might not have gotten this sword user with a red jacket and spiky brown hair, but maybe we'll get another character with a red jacket who uses a sword with spiky brown hair. Maybe? So enough talk about the process of Kazuya's inclusion. Now I want to talk about Kazuya himself from the gameplay in the trailer we saw. Is Kazuya a hype addition? Right now, I'm actually pretty excited for him to come to the game. Now I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw him, I wasn't really too excited about it. Like I said earlier, I didn't know who he was, so that was hard to see. But now that I've watched the trailer a couple thousand or so times and I've learned a lot about the lore from people online, I'm actually getting quite excited for this inclusion. The one thing in particular I can really say has me excited is the gameplay, more so the sound effects and the graphics. It looks like that there are specialized graphics, these bursts of fire that come out with each punch that Kazuya throws out. It looks so stylish and satisfying. These popping colors really remind me a lot of Joker's inclusion. I think this small touch will really bring me back to playing the character because I really think these are going to be a lot of fun in battle. I think it's quite cool how they exemplify the relationship between Kazuya and Heihachi, Of course, I don't know much about Tekken and their relationship, but I do know that they're father and son, and that their relationship is quite complicated. So it's cool to have Heihachi in the background and to see them associating with each other. I'm also pretty excited for the music. I was really jamming to the song that plays in the trailer, both versions of them. So if we get more songs like that, I think that'll be a really satisfying inclusion to the music library. The devil mechanic seems pretty interesting. I think it could be a little overpowered. I see a lot of super armor here, but hey, nothing that we can't deal with. I would say I would have liked to seen this devil mechanic introduced more into his normal moves. A lot of stuff I'm seeing, like back air, up smash, and down air specifically, have been used by the rest of the fighting game cast. Terry, Ken, and Ryu, they all have the same up smash, the same back air, and the same down air. So why didn't they use that aspect more often? Maybe it's because you have to charge up that power. I don't know much about the mechanic itself, so maybe that's what it is. But I would have liked to have seen them gotten a little more creative with his normal attacks. His special moves look a lot of fun, but I do see some repeats. And of course, the fighting game mechanics have been used on 3 characters already, and it's something I've been meaning to talk about since I've been getting destroyed by Ryu and Ken's online. You know, something that's always been special about Smash, even since the first game, is its simplicity. The simplicity of Smash's mechanics have been drawing people to the franchise for years upon years. The movesets are universal. Once you know how to play one character, then you could play all characters, on of course a casual scale. But with the fighting game characters specifically, they have an extra layer of depth that really sets them aside from the rest of the roster. These 4 characters have an extra layer of depth that really takes further knowledge of the game than the basic fundamentals. You really have to know specific button inputs, and that's something that's always been foreign to Smash. In terms of a competitive scale, you know, I'm no pro player, but I do like to play competitive Smash online and everything. And so when I play against Ken, Ryu, and Terry, I often find myself getting really overwhelmed because they're doing these crazy things that I never expected their characters were able to do. And I think that's just because I never took the time to specifically study those characters in particular. So my opponent has a huge advantage on me because they're playing characters that go beyond the extent of the formula that's been implemented in the rest of the roster. I might not know as well as they do what position I don't want to put myself in because one misplacement on my part could lead into now a 10-hit combo with Kazuya that's going to take my stock. Now at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, if you're good, you're good. So it doesn't really bother me that we're getting another fighting game character. It just adds another element of things I got to look out for in a matchup now. And when you don't know all the depth that goes into these fighting game characters, at least in my case, for example, I'm either A, not going to know the specific mechanics and situations that will make up the difference in a competitive fight, or B, I'll have to spend extra time learning all of the functions of a single character compared to the rest of the roster when those mechanics are not normally a part of the gameplay of Smash. But at the end of the day, we already got the definitive formula of kind of vanilla Smash with base game of Ultimate. I think that the vanilla version of Smash where like nobody had any gimmicks or anything, that is still there, but we needed to move on if we wanted to get all these DLC characters. So I think it's fair that we're getting all these new mechanics, and it's giving someone like Kazuya something to really look forward to. You know, I'm really excited to try out all these moves. I'm also a little nervous competitively. I don't think I'll be able to keep track of all those moves, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If Smash wasn't always evolving, then what point would there be to be getting all these new characters? So I do appreciate them going to such great extents to represent Tekken properly. And again, I think Kazuya is going to be such a fun character to play. If I haven't showed you by now by all the gameplay I've been putting up, but I actually have a blast playing as Terry, which is really funny because he's one of the characters that I really did not get hyped about because I didn't know who he was. But I really have a lot of fun canceling combos and doing all his special moves, so I think Kazuya is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm also looking forward to the future of Super Smash Bros. And possibly the last character, but that is a discussion for another day. Today I just wanted to talk about the little aspects of Kazuya's inclusion And later on, as we learn more information and after the Kazuya presentation, we'll really get into speculation talking about all about the last character. And if there is a last character, who knows, maybe we'll get a surprise Fighters Pass 3 announcement at the presentation, but really I doubt it. I think this might be where we close off Smash, but we'll just have to wait and see. So guys, let me know what you thought about Kazuya getting into Smash. And how do you feel about more fighting game mechanics? It's really a trade-off because they're hard to deal with, but they're also a blast to use yourself, and I think Kazuya is going to be a really fun and interesting character. Talk about it in the comments below, and I will see you guys after the big presentation. Let's see, maybe we'll get more characters revealed. Temper expectations, but if there were any more characters coming to the game, this would be the time for us to find out, which is why I made that video talking about why the next character was super important. Yeah, because, you know, we'll probably find out if this is the end of Smash with Kazuya's presentation. But that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.